Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to my beast mode news, so to speak. And I just want to thank you for coming, guys. Tonight I'm just going to cover a few things. I'm back and once again, and guys, you are not going to believe what's been going on these last few days. It's enough to blow you away. And guys, I just wanted to also, first of all, reach out to all the people based on what happened in Washington, D.C. First of all, I stand 100% against violence, destruction of government property, personal property, injuries to individuals, to innocent. I'm all 100% for the First Amendment right for free speech, the right to protest, the right to be heard. I am also a firm supporter of the right to rally together and motivate. And guys, I'm here to tell you what happened this past Wednesday was beautiful at the beginning, but at the end, some infiltrators have come among us and destroyed what's been worked so hard to put together for unity and for for the freedom of the right to vote and ensure every legal vote is counted. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Antifa have infiltrated. Lives Matter have infiltrated the good American people who are supporters of Trump, including myself, have arrived just for what? Carnage. They came for carnage and the defamation of the name of the supporters that showed up that afternoon. That being said, again, I do stand against violence. I do stand against destruction of government property. And I pray that each and every one of those who have been caught on video or have been turned in face the maximum penalty available by law, first and foremost. So if you're one of those guys who have caused mayhem and destruction and breaking into the people's house, the Capitol building, okay, then your best thing to do is to turn yourself in. You already been identified. You already been seen. Turn yourself in, and you'll have a fair trial. Simple as that. Everybody else, this whole thing has nothing to do with the Trump supporters. These individuals took upon themselves to infiltrate. And matter of fact, I heard reports of, in my opinion, I heard reports of vans being bussed in full of Antifa people who are there for the purpose of infiltrating and causing mayhem. Now, guys, this happened before. This happened in Iraq. This happened in Afghanistan. This happened all over the world where infiltrators will shoot at police while a bunch of crowds who are rightfully protesting, setting them up for failure and mayhem. So the propaganda ministry, those you know who you are, CNN, ABC News, MSNBC, the not TV, ABC, CBS, and the list goes on, who are there just to catch the negative side of the event, so they can have a narrative that is truly false, that does not represent the mass of people who come together in unity to support the President Donald J. Trump. We're not there to cause any trouble. We're not there to cause any mayhem. All we want to do is show support for the president, who has been demonized by the left, by the Communist Party, by the Democrat Party, by the Democratic Socialist Party, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. That's it. The people are there to support him. And it's a tragedy where people are in play who are there just to cause mayhem so they can have a narrative to switch and say we're terrorists, where the people, the good people who showed up are terrorists and who are here to cause all sorts of destruction, which is not true. What about all that happened in the last 8 months and still going on in Oregon, in Utah, destruction, fire burning, blocking the street. That still goes on. That's still going on. And yet the communist dictator of the Democratic Party mayor refused to call in to ask for help, and the National Guard and how the police do their jobs to clear this mess. And they want to spread this kind of mayhem all over the United States. Guys, we are living in the last evil days right in front of our eyes. We are facing the Bolshevik. And those of you who don't know me, I'm a firm believer in looking at all areas of the angle of truth. I'm also been studying communism ever since I was 12 years old, thanks to my father being in the military for over 30 years. I had the opportunity and interest to learn about communism. I studied communism. He provided books for me. I go to the public library, the libraries at the school, and read up on communism. You'd be surprised the tool book that's being used, the playbook that's been used by the Bolsheviks, that's been used by the Maoists, and I'm talking about German, Mao Zedong of China. He did use the same technique to win the hearts and minds of the people. See, it's all about winning hearts and minds. It's about psychological warfare used by, not by flyers, not by newspapers, not by handout, but not just word of mouth, by social media platforms and by television, mainstream news media. Guys, we're living in an age where people are being bombarded by negativity, demonization of Trump supporters, demonization of the right, demonization of the president. And let me tell you something. A tiger doesn't change its stripes. It just changes the pattern, and it changes this technique, hunting techniques. The Democratic Party has been the party of oppression, of slavery. The Democratic Party has been by the party of Jim Crow. The Democratic Party has been the party of the segregationists. The Democratic Party has been the party that's been utilizing black folks for years. And now they're utilizing people as they have moved to the extreme communistic, socialistic view. They're still the same evil Democratic Party that had been patronized and has been, in my words, persecuting people of color for centuries. Do your homework, ladies and gentlemen. They're still using the same playbook, except they're using communism to win power. This time they're overthrowing the government as we speak, right before our eyes. And guess what? Your mainstream media, the propaganda ministers of Goebbels, the propaganda ministry of the KGB is still at work. This is the 1930s all over again. This is the 1917s all over again. This is the 1920s all over again. Why did I say that? Because Mussolini used this same technique. He was a fascist. He used the technique to win Italy. Adolf Hitler, thanks to Goebbels, used the same technique to win the hearts and minds of Germany and turn Germany into a Nazi government. The same technique by Vladimir Lenin and his henchmen, including Joseph, his son Joseph Stalin. Might well call him his son because Joseph Stalin looked to him as a father. Turned Russia, imperialistic Russia, into the communist dog place it was at the time, where over 7 million people were executed or sent to the gulags, forced out of their homes. You talk about sins in the United States, you better my suggestion is you take a look around the world and look through your stories and read all the account and talk to some people who actually survived living under communism. Many of our brothers and sisters who survived Cuba when Cuba became communist and fled to the United States. So my question to you, America, why do so many people from all over the world want to come to the land of the free? Why? Because it's a capitalistic country with economic growth and opportunities for all. Not a socialist dog place where everybody will be under the same income. You want minimum wage? Good. Socialism. You want everybody equality, and I'm talking about equality, not black or white, not right or wrong. I'm talking about equality, economic equality. That means I will take your business in the name of the government and run it, and guess what? Everybody get paid the same. I say everybody who survived the Soviet Union, East Germany, Hungary, Austria. Ask them. Ask people in Uganda. Ask people who live in communist countries in Africa. You think Africa is not communist or socialist? Guess again. Do your homework. I'm not going to give you the answer because the answer is right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. So we're in war right now. We're in the Civil War. The war has already been taking place. It started this past summer. Okay? It has grown and people have taken advantage of it. Governors, mayors have not done their job to protect the citizens of their communities. They have failed to take care of the people, the criminals that have done so much damage. But yet the hypocrisy I see here in America is the fact that in Washington, D.C., peace-loving Americans, older people, I'm talking about people my age and above, just come to Washington just to spend time in Washington and show support to the president and the Republican leaders in Congress. That's as simple as that. And some are even Democrats. But instead of having a peace-loving atmosphere in the end, the Democrats send in their dogs. They send in their brown shirts. They send in their SS. They send in their mobs and the cultural revolutionists of the communist Chinese that have torn China apart back in the 1960s. I'm throwing some history to you guys. Y'all turn about to listen. And they have tore up the place, taking stuff they had no business taking. And then I also hold accountable the mayor who downsized the strength of the police department. The chief of the police have downgraded the police, send their police officers home. That was a setup for failure, saints of God. That was a setup for failure, my brothers and sisters of America. I don't care what color is your fur. All I care about is one color. You're the United States of America. And here's the thing, guys. I'm so upset and disappointed over. The president was willing to take charge and have the National Guard go there, but the mayor of Washington, D.C. said she's going to have the National Guard in place, didn't. And many of them are unarmed. I served in the Guard, so I understand. I know. So, what happened? There was hardly anybody there. And then you got police officers, Capitol Hill, police officers allowing the people to come in. Now, if you got some people who are, good citizens who just have to, I just want to see how things go. Who wish they hadn't gone in there. Who should have stayed away. They were being sucked into the slaughterhouse so they can be arrested later. Next time we have learned an important lesson in America. Stay away. Don't go into a trap, because that's what it was. And then you got some folks who are doing their job, Antifa, 5 buses deep, wreaking havoc, fighting the police, breaking windows, taking property, destroying property. And a young lady who served in the Air Force, who got all tied up, who was a patriot, who was all excited, wanted to climb through the window, wanted to show the Congress that we are not happy about what's going on. And she was, of course, was encouraged to do it. She got shot in the neck and she bled to death. My prayers are to her family and her husband. But this whole thing was a ruse. It was a setup by the Bolsheviks. It was a setup by the Communist Democrat Party. That's what you are. You're a communist. I call you a communist. I'm going to call you who you are. Your actions are definitely communist. Your whole way of thing of degradation to the people who are there and to the president, the office of the presidency. It's shameful, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to give you that breaking news part of it. And I also want to let you know we are in a state of war. It's a different kind of war. There's nobody firing weapons, but it's a war on hearts. The war is on psychological of warfare right in your head. It's a warfare of belief. It's a warfare of your choice and decisions. Guys, a lot is going on, and I'm telling you, I want to encourage you. There's a great revival in this. This is the point where we should be more focused on God and doing what is right, loving one another as brothers and sisters, as Americans, not this hate. The Communist Party has completely turned the narrative, who is controlled by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, to have Americans turn on the Americans. That is the strategy, and it's working. But we can defeat it. We have to love one another, respect one another. Get back to the basic core values of biblical values. Get back to the core values of biblical values, and we will win. Regardless of the outcome on the 20th, the battle is not yours but the Lord, and it will still continue. We will not allow this demonic movement of socialism and communism win. I have studied and seen too much destruction. You want your properties taken away from you. You want to lose your home. You want to lose your farm. You want to lose your business. They will take it from you. They will set up so much regulation, they will take it from you. I want you to watch a few videos about the history of communism. It will open your eyes. I'm already aware of it. I had a friend I served in the military who was from Poland. He lived under the Polish communist regime. And when Poland became free and he became an adult and became a citizen within the United States, he joined the army. He did serve in the Polish army and was a lieutenant colonel, a great friend of mine. I have a highest deep respect for him because he really broke it down to me. And he told me this is one of the greatest opportunities in the world, the United States of America. Our system of government is the greatest. Our capitalism system is the greatest in the world. What do you think so many countries wanted to do business in dollars instead of their own currency? I'll pause. Why do so many people want to take advantage of the opportunity to become citizens? You got a whole 2 million people building up because of Biden's, I'm going to get to unlock the door, the gates, and let you in. And guess what? 2 million people showed up at the gate. Now I find out later he's not going to let that gate open. The man's a liar. He is a liar. He has totally beguiled you. Trump, on the other hand, is straightforward, man with integrity. Yes, he is. And he stands his grounds. This man will dilly-dally and dodge the bullets. He has not answered not one true question. He has failed to answer a hard question. And he spent most of his time in his bunker at his house in Delaware. And his so-called vice president-elect left California to join him in the bunker. What you got to hide? Why are you hiding? This is the first national election I ever seen anything like this. I never seen anything like this. In all my lifetime, I never seen anything like this. And I'm amazed how deception the Democratic Communist Party has become. And I'm going to call you, you're communist. You're dictatorship. Incoming. You're already there. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to be seen. You're acting like the Eastern Bloc dictators that you are. So this is what brings me to here as a veteran. First of all, please subscribe to me and buy my book. We are living in the finished work of Christ. We are living in the finished work of Christ. Yes, my wife and I have written this book, this painstaking book. A lot of information. There's a dictionary in it too. And breaking the chains. I'm telling you, a lot of this has to do with what we're going through now because there's a lot of deception and change that's in the church. Because why? The communists have infiltrated the church. People are being deceived. People are being led to the slaughter. We got pimps in the church. We got pimps in politics. We got a pimp that became a politician who was a pastor. Totally deceived the masses. He don't care about you. The pastor that wants abortion, the pastor that wants gay marriage and the removal of mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin. They want to remove gender identification in the American language. What kind of mess is this? Is this something bigger? Is this something by the United Nations? Is this something from the New World Order of the Communist Party? It's that equality narrative. It's that inclusiveness narrative. It is that it's not the word opportunity, but it's diversity opportunity. And equality is not always equality in this time and age. The equality of what Martin Luther King was talking about, equal rights, equal judge. Let's look at me by my character, not by my color of skin. That should be the framework of all American legislation. Not to judge me by my skin, but my character. And I've seen a lot of evil characters out there. So if you're a duck, you're a duck. If you're a skunk, you're a skunk. It's that simple. So with that, we're all brothers and sisters. Just look beyond the fur. Okay? So this what's been going on, guys. Facebook has really stepped up its censoring campaign. Now, in a free democracy, have you ever heard of censorship that has gone at this level? I haven't seen it since the Soviet Union. I haven't seen it since Nazi Germany. I haven't seen it since right now Communist China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and all the other countries, including Cuba and Venezuela. Hear me out. So I set up a platform in Facebook to support President Trump, to get the voices out, my voices out, and the voices of all Americans who wants right, who wants decency, who wants, liberty and freedom of speech, freedom. My book covers this right here. I got the First and Second Amendment in here. You should go get yourself a copy. Order it through your congressman, the Senate and the House. Get it while you can before it's removed. But just like the language. So they blocked my account, Facebook. They blocked my account where I cannot post anything, even videos. Even this narrative is so offensive, they blocked it. Any narrative that goes against Biden and the Communist Party is considered hate crime, hateful language, non-inclusive, and should be blocked. And the knucklehead Knuckleberg has declared war on America. True loving Americans, he launched a war of information. So we can no longer post our side of the story, our narrative on Facebook. It's just like Facebook has just become the CNN of social media, MSNBC. If you notice, they speak the same language. If you put 4 televisions in front of you, and I'm telling you, that's what I used to do. 4 televisions in front of you, and you just take notes. They're all saying the same hateful narrative. They have nothing to report. They have nothing to report at all. They have nothing positive to say, and it's all hateful. They've been saying this since the man became president. But actually, this goes back further when you insult President Bush. YouTube has blocked and, matter of fact, removed a number of videos I have posted in regards to the president. I mean, this is the information I've got is legitimately and factual. They removed it. I have had news articles and news videos posted. They removed it and gave me a warning, a red flag. 3 more and your account is closed. This is where we are, America. I have also took notice that Amazon has made a statement, and don't quote me on this, but you can look it up, that they're blocking their servers to a social media that everybody has gone to. It's called Parler. Parler is very good. It gives you your freedom of speech. They call it a white supremacist network, which is not, because I am not white. I'm a descendant of African American, but I'm also a descendant of German. So there's both there. Now, and also my grandparents are Native American descendants. So, I mean, let's try that again. White nationalists call me a white nationalist, and my white nationalist. Shame on you. We are all brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand why we're doing the flip. Back in the 60s, it was persecution after persecution under Jim Crow. Now I see a new Jim Crow against white people, Caucasians. Why? Why are you treating my brothers and sisters worse than a child of God? These are my brothers and sisters. Just like anybody who's dark, that's my brothers and sisters. Or Asian, that's my brothers and sisters. How dare you? Telling them to take a knee, to bow down before you. You won't bow down before no man except for Jesus Christ, the Father, the Son, and Jehovah God, the Father. You don't do that. What do you do? And if you're going to bow down, you're going to bow down to pray. That's it. Too many of my brothers and sisters of arms have perished for you to have the right to pray. Not the right to carnage and destruction, deception, and persecution. You're persecuting Christ too when you persecute his Christians. When you persecute the Catholic Church, you're persecuting Christ. When you persecute the true Baptist Church, you're persecuting him. When you're persecuting all his children, you're persecuting him. That's what he told Apostle Paul when he was Saul. Why are you persecuting me? I know. But let's move on. It is so inappropriate, guys. They find any social media, including Twitter, now finds anything that supports Donald Trump, anything that supports this hat, is inappropriate. People are losing their jobs, getting fired. This is Nazi Germany and Russia all over again. This is the Belarus movement. And see, the communists are trying to create a new Belarus by staging a run inside the House of Congress. You don't do that. Where's the guards? Where's the police? Where are the barriers? No, we're going to open it, let them come in. But on the propaganda ministry of Goebbels, and I'm going to keep using this term, the propaganda ministry of the KGB, the Control the Information Ministry Department of Venezuela, said, look at these guys. They are attacking to kidnap and take the Capitol building by force. That is not their purpose. And the president told them to go ahead and do it. He did not tell them that. Fact check that. Yeah. He never said it. He said, let's go for a walk after the speech down to the Capitol and let our voices be heard. That's the only thing he said. But the propaganda ministry said he sent them to cause carnage and chaos. Take it down. Kidnap. Pillage. People were pillaging. They were taking podiums. They were taking laptop computers, papers. They were standing on the halls of Congress and desecrating the halls of Congress and the Senate. But who let them in? How did they get in there? Guys, let me tell you a little fun story. I took a class on security, and I learned about glass. And I know anything like government buildings and banks and someplace have glass that are made to be blast resistant or bullet resistant. These glasses that they were breaking in, and not just my hypothesis, I just want to do an educated guess, just don't mind me, broke just as easily like they have, just like a glass on a windshield. Very easily. You can break them. They got the plastic sheeting that holds it together and they just fall apart. They just don't break like you break your window and it just, it doesn't do that. But I'm just so amazed how easy it is to break into a building like that. And that's supposed to be the people of Congress building, the people's building of the Americas. How easy, if it's easy for them to get in there, what do you think would a military force do? Or a revolutionary force want to go ahead and take Congress as hostage? Or a terrorist group taking notes. They're taking notes. Putin is taking notes. Kim Jong-un is taking notes. Chairman Xi is taking notes. The Venezuela dictator is taking notes. And the premier chairman of Cuba is taking notes. The United States is easily to be conquered. All we have to do is take the halls of Congress and hold the congressional as I can't even think of the word, but take them as hostages. You remember the hostages back in Iran where they took the embassy back in the 80s, the early 80s, 1979, 1980, they held them hostage for over a year, and it took the power of who to get them out? Jimmy Carter failed. He was a nice guy, but he failed. But the one who succeeded was what? Ronald Reagan, who had strength and determination, and they backed down. Hostage release. Trump did the same thing. He got a lot of hostages released. He done a lot for this country. I mean, I don't go for everything, so I check things out. And it's proven that he did. He done a lot of things for blacks. He did a lot of things for whites. He did a lot of things for Hispanics. He did a lot of things for Native Americans. He done a lot of things within his ability to do for America while he was being persecuted by this impeachment. Kind of hard to stay focused when you're being persecuted like that. But he did. He's brilliant. The man was focused. I give him that credit. And the Congress, I am so disappointed in, betrayed him. His own people, the people he had supported, the people he had traveled to help them gain elections, to be reelected or be elected the first time in history. I mean, the House of Representatives is almost 50-50. The Senate is now 50-50 thanks to the runoff election fiasco that took place in Georgia. They used the same playbook. They shut it down. That next morning, boom. The Republicans were at the lead, but here's the catch. We're going to shut this down at 10 o'clock. We're not going to get this done until 3 o'clock in the morning. But by the time of 12 or 11 o'clock hit, where did all these 10,000 or 20,000, 50,000 ballots come from all of a sudden? They're using the same play, guys. They're using the same technique that have worked on the national stage on the what? State stage. And it worked. You got two new communists. One who say he's a pastor, and I just call it like it is. You are pimp. You put a pimp in there who's never been a pastor. He got the credentials. He's a pastor by world, but by God, he's not a pastor. He's not a pastor. Because he had no compassion to people, regardless. He has no love for people. It's just every language that came out of his mouth is racist and hateful. And let me tell you something. I don't care about what you say about being black and white. If you say if it's all right for a black person to be prejudiced to a white person, you just as wrong. Then you are wrong as the ones back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and the 40s and 30s who were racist against black people. You are just as guilty. And I'm ashamed of you. I don't care about the color of fur. I really don't. I'm really disappointed how this nation has turned around into a hypocrisy of hatred among people. We should be one nation under God. But you kick God out the picture. You take the 10 Commandments out the courthouse. What matter of law can we follow that give us righteousness and hold us accountable? You can put laws all you want, but they won't stop carnage. Look what's going on all over the country. People burning, looting, and breaking in people's home. People call themselves Black Lives Matter. Well, it's okay to take a Gucci and pen and all this other stuff because somebody got to eat. What they got to do with food? So they can sell it on the street corner? Beat someone in the head because they won't agree with you? Murder them because they say I support Trump? They killed a black man, black gang killed a black man because he supported Trump. He liked the way Trump was doing things. And they killed him. Nobody said anything about it on the propaganda news ministry. But the Republican Party is no longer the party of Abraham Lincoln. No. Yeah, I forgot about that too. The Republican Party is now the party of the swamp. They are now the party of the rhinos. You are a rhino. You don't support Trump, you're a rhino. And you're a member of the establishment swamp. President Trump was elected to clean house. He was elected to do a job. It was God's will for him to be president. And for the stuff he put up with, didn't get a paycheck, not one dime. And you persecuted that man like that. God put him there for him to help Americans and bring peace on the earth, which he has done. He's worthy of the 4 Nobel Peace Prize. But yet you hate him so much because your propaganda ministry brainwashed you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Where's your Christian values? Where's your Jewish value? Where's your none of the above values, if any? So I have decided to limit my account with the process of moving to Parler, which I have done. I have also to move to WeMe from Facebook, and I'm in the process of shutting. I have shut a lot of my accounts on Facebook down, cleaned out, moved out. There's a few accounts I'm still holding on Facebook, but that's at that process. I'm bringing some friends along. Simple as that. And within the end of the year, I should be clear of Facebook altogether because I really don't need them. I really don't. Don't need them. I don't need media that provides censorship and censored me such a way since November. I'm telling you, they really treated me terribly. They've been doing this for a while. They've been doing this over a year, and I'm telling you, Facebook had treated me terribly. If you want to see a one-sided narrative, yeah, stay on Facebook. Stay on be a part of the matrix. Stay in the matrix. Stay out of the eyes of the KGB. Stay out of the eyes of the communist, of the Chinese Communist Party that controls all this narrative. People have been bought. People have been bought. Corporations has been bought, in my opinion. I already seen the narratives. I already seen the reports. They've been bought. Biden has been bought a long time ago. That's why he's a multi-millionaire now. Obama, $400 million, has been bought. They've been bought and sold to tear this country down. And then when that wasn't enough, they set the situation up where they can do it again for the next term, which is right now. And I pray to God that something wonderful happens and that this stuff is put to a hold. The power's out. It's no mistake that the power is out in Pakistan. There's no mistake that the power out is in Italy, and let's go there, the Vatican, the most holiest city of all Christendom, owned and controlled by the Christians of the Catholic Church government, okay, by the church government. The power's out. Maybe God is telling you something. I believe He is. Get it right. Guys, I want to share a definition for you because when I was on active duty, I am a veteran for the Army and the Air Force. I have been a pastor in ministry for 22 years. I have served in the military for 22 years, only being looked upon for 18 and a half years, good years, because I was in the reserve. And I'm here to tell you guys, we're in operations, psychological operations. And the psychological operation is defined as operation to convey selection information, indicators to audience to influence their emotions, motive, objectives, reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of the government, organization, group, and individuals. That's what psychological operations do. And guess what? You guys are playing a major role in psychological operations. I served in a command that's psychological operations. And I'm here to tell you, you've been used. Propaganda. Remember, back in the days, propaganda goes all the way back in history. It means information, especially of the bias and misleading nature, used to promote and publicize particular causes or point of view. That's what CNN does best. New York Times, Wall Street, all the other medias, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, PBS, Reuters, which is controlled by Russia, KGB, which is a new name, I forgot the new name, and you got the Communist China's News Network. How, look at these people, these lions, tigers, and bears who are so evil, going across, and they use language, okay? Pay attention to the language they use. Pay attention to the language the politicians use. Pay attention to the language that each news media have used. Even I was even discussing when I saw my friend, dear fraternity brother of mine, Colin Powell, on CNN, a Republican on CNN, saying, "How dare they? How could they? I mean, this is not America. It is not us. It was them." So, well, hello there. My helpmate brought me dinner. Bless your heart. Thank you so much. Have a good day now. But here's the thing, guys. Propaganda and psychological operation and psychological warfare have been around for centuries. And we're playing a major part of it because your news media has really gone all out, spending billions of dollars. And they're receiving billions of dollars from somewhere, a corporation, it could be George Soros. But that's my opinion. From communist countries, from world leaders, and I'm quite sure our so-called West friends of Europe have turned their back on us and have betrayed us. I really believe that. You forgot what we've done for you in World War I, World War II? Have you forgotten what we have done as being part of NATO to keep you from the Soviet Union? Haven't you forgotten what we have done for you all these 80 years? What a betrayal. The far left propaganda, which I have already mentioned, very far left. So far left they are completely socialist. It is a propaganda ministry of Goebbels would be proud of. Joseph Goebbels would be very proud. Joseph Stalin would be very proud of. Lenin Brezhnev would be very proud of. The Soviet Union would probably never collapse if they would just hold up just a little bit longer and have these far left mediums that we have now. The Soviet Union would have won. And we'd be goose stepping all over the place. Concentration camps all over the place. We got a camp being built up in New York by Supreme Leader Cuomo. You see the rest of the news. Your CNN friends won't tell you about it. You have to look elsewhere. Go to their website. Read it. And Twitter. I'm so ashamed of you. I am no longer doing business with you. I have closed my account. Amazon. Since you want to censor Parler and close the what do you call that, server? Great news. I have closed my account. Facebook, I am closing my account. Twitter, I'm closing my account. Instagram, you're done already. I already closed you. Just to name a few. YouTube is coming up. You know, you censor free speech in such a way that, you know, it's a shame that people cannot share a narrative on equal level. And we talk about, and we got the nerve, the audacity to talk about equality. There is no equality as of right now in this country. There's only one equality and that is the far left. That's it. They have the right to do whatever they want without penalties. There is no righteousness there. There is no freedom there. There is no fairness there. It is all one-sided towards the people who are in right standing before God, who are standing up for justice, who are standing up for freedom. And you got the nerve to call me a white supremacist. Call me a racist. Yes, I'm against stupidity. Yes, I am racist against stupidity. Communism. I swore an oath, and many of you out there have sworn an oath too. I have sworn an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's my choice. And the biggest thing that motivated me was the threat of the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc and the communist China and the movement, how they conquered, had moved communism, spread to quench the spread of communism throughout the world, even in Central America. I stood ready to fight for freedom so you can have the lifestyle that you're enjoying today, but you do not appreciate that. You think your apartments are wonderful. Now, under communism, they'll become dogs. They'll become places where you can't even get nothing repaired. Your heater breaks down, guess what? It'll be 30 years if you're lucky that somebody works on that heater. Your running water will break down. Your pipe will corrode. Well, how do I know? Go to ask any Russians who lives in Moscow right now, who lived under the Soviet Union. This abundance of food, guess what? Food distribution through corruption gonna fall. Now give it, let me give it some grace, because they did it for the greater good. There was reforms that was being tried to undo the damages, but it was far too late. It was far too late. Back in the 80s, in the late 80s and 90s. Whoever controls the media, in my opinion, controls the narrative, controls the people. And that's a fact. Any journalist will know that. Any freedom fighter would know that. You get that information out, you can make waves. You can turn families against each other, which you have. Congratulations. You have turned friends into enemies. Congratulations. We're now the new North and the new South. Choose who you shall serve. Whose side are you on? Are you for the red hats or the blue hats or the blue shirts? Which one do you stand for? Now, as a matter of this, and that just there's no we talk about in these so-called vice president, the president-elect. That's the first time I ever heard that people using that term as so early instead of at the day until you are inaugurated. Want to bring unity? He already did. He brought disunity. He brought unity for the far left and Black Lives Matter. Matter of fact, Black Lives Matter are mad at you because you turned your back on them. So they're going to show you who they really are. You have turned your back on America and twisted it and stolen an election. And God said, you may get away, but you won't get away from God. You won't get away from the Catholic Church either. And many of you are not going to get away from true religion. So today, in my belief, we are now living in the age of oppression, misinformation, deception, persecution of thought and opinions. We no longer have the freedom of speech or freedom of expression or freedom of press without being intimidated, given by black hooded individuals called Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And these black hooded individuals that are wearing black are just like the very ones. Now here's another historical note. They are no different than the brown shirts of the Nazi youth. The brown shirt that was leading Germany to become Nazi, fascist Germany. The black shirts, the black uniforms that was walked through the streets of Italy under Mussolini. They carry their knives. They will stab you. They will kill you. They will shoot you. And the Red Army is no different. The Reds will persecute you. The KGB will pick you up in the middle of the night and take you away from your family. They have done so very well. Stalin demands to the KGB, I want confessions, even if they never did it. You forgot where you come from. My brothers and sisters, of those who've been in Europe and Eastern Europe and in Asia and who no longer live in communist China or any communist society, even in Central Africa is communist and socialist. Please share your stories on YouTube with me. Please share your story because the world needs to hear this before it's too late. This is the greatest country in the world. And I'm afraid that it will definitely take a turn for the worse. The Bible, as we know it, will be illegal to have. In Germany, they burned the Bibles. Because there is no God other than Adolf Hitler. There is no God other than what? The Communist Party. In China right now, they are burning churches, mosques. They are putting people in concentration camps, harvesting organs from them, separating families. We talk about family. Let's talk about families, guys. Let's talk about families, Joe Biden. You have made this country to a point where family unity is no longer allowed. You have disenfranchised the American people by telling them, I can't tell you my brother, sister, cousin, mother, or father. And then you redefine it through an identity crisis, identity policies that the governor of Virginia has passed that limits the identity of people to call themselves whatever. And now you got people dictating to you to say, you will call me a female. Well, I guess I am a frog or a dog or an eagle. You will address me as Mr. Dog or Mr. Eagle. Or you can call me the great fatherland if you want. What kind of stuff is that? It makes no sense. But you got these intellect brainwashing our children in colleges and university, in philosophy classes. You got these brainwashers in schools. That's why you got the teachers union involved. Why? Because the teachers union is a very important part of the communist network. It's time to stand up for righteousness, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stand up for our country. The Socialist Democratic Party has stolen the election of 2020 and 2021 and intimidated everyone to have their way. They've done everything in their power to suppress speech and information exchange. We are now in the United Socialist Union of the Soviet America, or what I call, or you can call it as the Democratic Socialist Party of America, or DPRK, or DPRA if you want. I don't care. The playbook of the Communist Party has been used to greatness to the letter in the United States. You got folks who have been communist sympathizers and supporters since the 70s. Bernie Sanders is a communist, true and true, and I respect him for that because at least he has the passion and the courage to tell everyone that he is a socialist and a communist. It's just the way it is. What you got this? What's that, chicken? But thank you so much. I'll put it right here. Thank you. And see, this food smells good. I'm enjoying what I can. I'm enjoying my retirement because I know how, based on testimonies that I have spoken to and to people and friends of mine who have lived in those countries, and then also to people that read testimonies in books. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or someone studying for a master's in graduate school to understand that this is taking place. Political science, if you're studying political science, take a look. You already know what communism is. You already know how the structure of government is. You already know the basic root of law. Why are you denying freedom for everyone else for privileges under the Communist Party? I don't understand. Share your thoughts. And last, one other thing I want to share with you. This intimidation of calling names are definitely inappropriate. It's definitely inappropriate on Facebook, YouTube, social media. I mean, let's be intellectual about that. Let's talk this over logically as human beings and not as kids. Calling names doesn't change the narrative or helps the narrative. If there's something that you believe in, defend it. Just like in court, defend your argument. Defend why you hate Trump so much. Show us, the American people, how did Trump become so evil? When did he first become evil? And why is he evil? And what has he done against the United States of America? Now, Biden, on the other hand, has proved 47 years of evil. He said we're beyond the pale. He said about black people, there's a jungle. I don't want them near the jungle. Talking about black people. He has gave a eulogy to a known Ku Klux Klan leader who was his mentor back in 2010, and President Obama attended. You forgot about that. I have the videos. This man is beyond the pale. He put millions of black men and women in prison through that what law? That crime bill, which is not crime law. HR, I forgot the number, but it's H start off of HR. But that's not the point. The point of the matter, now he's trying to undo it and say you need counseling. That's central. That's that way they'll put you instead of prison, they'll put you in a mental institution where you get counseling all the time. And if you get violent in the street, don't worry. Instead of sending law enforcement guys, we'll send counselors who have master's degree in counseling, licensed to put their lives on the line and say, how did that make you feel? We're in a mess, and it's not going to work. The socialist government seeks to oppress the Make America Great hats, people wearing the hats, ridicule, oppress, threaten, beat, or kill. The socialists seek to remove family life and structure and redistribution of wealth, but to take land from the rich and from the poor. I'm not rich and I own land. My wife owns land. My wife in-laws own lands. And you, through your socialist intimidation, you're going to take the land from us. Well, we're not going to have that. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We will stand against you to fight you illegally and physically if we have to. I took an oath to protect the Constitution, defend and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. I definitely going to defend against communism. COVID-19 is nothing more than an excuse to take over. It is an excuse to overthrow the government. It is the excuse to take over the election. It is the excuse to undermine the executive office of the President of the United States, locking U.S. citizens in their home, closing their jobs, filling the people with false narratives against the President of the United States and our form of government. The mail-in ballot encouraged by the Democratic Party, encouraged by the CCP and the Democratic Communist Party to deceive the people to vote for mail-in ballots for the purpose of overturning the true election vote for Biden. Biden is just a tool. Biden is just a tool by the Communist Party. Biden is a tool for Harris to be in charge and Nancy Pelosi to be second in command. And soon she'll be in command altogether because she'll rule by what? The House. She's Speaker of the House. She controls. She's the boss. Everyone's seen the ballot pull out from under the table. Everyone's seen the Dominion counts go from Trump to Biden within the hour after Georgia stopped the ballot process. Pennsylvania as well, Michigan, Nevada, and etc. And guys, I'm afraid. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I was sitting there watching a private, and I'll share the video, I'll tag the video on you if you watch it from YouTube. Biden said by 2045, if I'm not mistaken, the white people will be the minority. Now, tell me this. Out of 350 million Americans, with only 15 million African Americans, how in the world are you going to make Caucasian Americans, European descendants, my brothers and sisters, a minority without mass murder? Because that's the only way I can see that. The only way I can see that strategically is mass murder, or by disease, murder by disease that only affect them, or by concentration camps. That's the only way I can see it, or full-scale civil war. That's the only way I can see that, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm hoping I'm not scaring too many people, and I'm hoping I'm not stepping on my bounds. But when anybody say that their goal is about the 2040 to have whites as minority, that scares the daylights out of me. There could be a backlash behind that stuff. Because as far as I'm concerned, ethnic-wise, I'm still a minority. Even though I got German blood, Ghana blood, Native American blood, and just pure-blooded American. Just like you. So, we got a problem. The promises that he promised are not going to be kept. He already told those black leaders that. He's going to do it the way he's going to do it. And I already shared that video. Guys, you have made definitely a mistake. But the election is stolen. I don't know if it's going to be overturned. It would be great if it does. I would be glad that this stuff was set into motion and people need to go to jail. And also in Italy, theft in the U.S. election had this gentleman named Stephen Serrafini has admitted to the Italian government, and he isn't going to prison, he's going to trial right now, that, and he was on, just his little background, he works for Italian intelligence, that he provided documents and he has worked with the CIA and used a satellite, military satellite of the Italian military to overturn the votes. You remember Dominions, the software? Guess what? He did it. He did it. There's a lot of people intertwined with this. I was told there was over 150,000 names that's going to be taken, going to be arrested. You might add another 100,000 to it because this thing is deep. So guys, I'm not giving you no conspiracy, but I just want to lay some facts to you. I just want to tell you like it is. I am a Trump supporter. I am a veteran. I have been a pastor, minister. I'm an ordained minister, been a chaplain, an author of books. And guys, I see things in a different light. You're being totally beguiled. You're being totally brainwashed. And guys, there's a lot of folks out there who got better credentials than I. Even though I got degrees and credentials, they have credibility because they've been in this a long time and people respect them. They are saying the same thing. So you don't have to take my word for it. Take the word of those who you respect, who you know. Ask the question. Do the research. Do it while you have a chance before the hard books are gone. Go to your library. Look things up. Look up names. Look at the people that are promoting these people who are seeking to become in power. Who are going to be your mayor, your governor, your senate, your I can't even think of the name. I can't think of the name. It's not Congress. I'm thinking on state level now. But that's okay. I'm going to stop right here. But guys, and Hunter Biden, crimes in Ukraine, the Ukraine governments are looking for you, and President-elect Biden, the Ukraine government is looking for you. Uzbekistan government looking for you. The Chinese government want a reimbursement. What you gonna do? Sell America so you can get their money worth? People are gonna stop you. I'm not gonna be able to physically do it, but there are people out there who hear me, who got influence, who's gonna stop you, and I hope they will, and I hope they are successful. Save our country, and I pray God's will upon this nation, because a lot of people have turned away from the living God of Jehovah and His Son Jesus Christ. Pray. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the revival. The revival has taken place. A great awakening has taken place. I'm awake, you awake, and we all awake. Let's rejoice and let's be watchful. And guys, I gotta go and go ahead and get my meal. Y'all, God bless you, and I will talk to you soon.